Welcome, everybody, to the most must-see WWE talk show in WWE history. Welcome to Miz TV. That was a joke, obviously. I'm not the Miz. I wish I had the Miz's mic skills. But anyway, this is both halves of RC Entertainment, and today we're just gonna do kind of a chill video. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about, and instead of making individual videos on it, we decided to cram it into one big movie talk video, which hopefully you guys will enjoy. We've got a ton of topics, as you can see from this lovely picture that we created. But how's your day going, man? How's your day?
Yeah, it's been good, bro. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday.
Yeah, I have half days on Fridays, by the way.
That's awesome.
So,
I didn't have to do driver's ed or anything like that today, so it's been a pretty chill day.
It's been a pretty good day. I am one of the luckiest people on the planet. I get out of school at 12 on Friday. Every Friday. Suck on those.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But anyway, let's get to the movies, man. First of all, I just want to bring something up. Swiss Army Man, one of my favorite movies of the year, is coming out on home video within the next couple of weeks. How do you feel about this?
I am so excited. You said one of your favorites of the year. Let's say
one of my favorites of all time. One of my favorite movies. It's literally in my top 5 favorite movies of all time.
It's so good. Everything about it's so great. I don't want to get into why it's so great because we could literally go on for hours.
Just watch we literally
went on for hours just talking about what's the meaning of it after we saw it.
What does it mean?
And that wasn't even us talking about how good it was. It was just talking about the meaning of it. So we could literally go on for like 3 hours just talking
3 hours? You mean 3 years?
Yeah, honestly, we probably could do it. But so stoked for it.
I'm very excited for this. But hopefully I'll pre-order it pretty soon. But what are we going to talk about first? What are we going to talk about first?
Okay,
let's determine this.
All right, let's talk about
Connor for real. What do you think? You're looking in my eyes, buddy. Or no, you're gazing off into that direction a little bit.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about Popstar. Yeah. So, all right, you're holding this awesome Blu-ray right now with the sweet...
We're gonna talk about the Blu-ray release just in case you didn't know, and talk about the movie as well. And I'm just gonna sit back for this one because I didn't see the movie, so I'm gonna let you take over.
Okay. Well, I mean, first of all, obviously you can't see it, but this Blu-ray cover is sweet. The title's embossed, and it's like super golden and reflective, and when you put it on your movie shelf, it stands out, and it's great. The movie itself, let's just talk about the movie. It is great. Now, you and I can both agree on one thing, and that's we saw the trailer in the theater together, and we both looked at each other and said it looked like absolute
trash.
Yeah, it looked like garbage. It didn't look funny. It looked just terrible. It looked like one of the worst movies of all time.
It looked like a stupid mockumentary that somebody threw together in about 2 minutes.
I didn't even know it was a mockumentary. I just thought it was some throwaway comedy movie that was just trying to gain some bucks or whatever. But man, was I wrong. It was such a great comedy, easily one of my favorites of the year. I just love, my favorite thing about the movie is the fact that it pokes fun at so many celebrities like Macklemore and Justin Bieber. I mean, Justin Bieber literally had a documentary a few years ago called Justin Bieber Never Say Never, and now this movie comes out and it's called Popstar, Never Stop, Never Stopping. That's obviously very intentional, and the acting in this movie is great. I mean, everyone from the lead, played by Andy Samberg, who's very underrated, actually. He's really funny. And he never really gets good movies. He was in That's My Boy with Adam Sandler. That was terrible.
Yeah.
Finally, he has a great lead role.
Let's just call it mixed reviews.
Yeah. Tim Meadows is great in this movie. The movie is so funny. The songs are so clever and they're hilarious. It's just such a fun movie. Don't watch the trailer, because when you watch the trailer, you'll be like, it doesn't look that good.
Yeah. I have a story, actually, about the trailer.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead. I know what you're going to say. Let's say it real quick.
So you and me were at the theater, right? You were buying some food. Maybe you were buying a hot dog. I don't know.
Maybe some nachos. Who knows?
Maybe some nachos with some cheese.
I think we were seeing Suicide Squad, and there were these 2 kids behind us.
Yeah, they were behind us, and they obviously knew what they were talking about. I could hear them talking about some movies coming up, and they weren't clueless. They weren't just casual moviegoers. I could tell these kids knew what they were talking about, right? And then they played on the monitor the Popstar trailer. And then the one kid was like, "Hey, have you seen Popstar yet?" Then the other one said, "No, that looks like the biggest pile of poop anybody could throw on a screen." And then the other one said, "Yeah, I agree." And that just shows how bad the trailer is, first of all. Second of all, how much an impact a trailer can have on a movie.
Yeah, I mean, just talking about the Drive trailer as well.
The Drive trailer it makes me want to puke. Drive is one of my favorite movies of all time. And I could argue right now that Drive is the best movie of all time. So it really upsets me. Literally,
It's
I'm
one of the
joking.
most misleading trailers I've ever seen.
First of all, yeah, and first of all, it gives away the entire movie. It shows It shows Oscar. Well, I'm not going to spoil the movie if you haven't seen it, but
it shows many
major plot points that affect the movie in a very, very major way. And then, not to mention, it makes it look like one of the Transporter movies, like with all the action they throw in there, and that's not the movie. That's not Nicholas Winding Refn. That's not how he makes a film. I mean, there's 2 action scenes.
Speaking of Nicholas Winding Refn, let's go right into that. We'll recap the whole thing, and we'll talk about Popstar, but let's talk about Nicholas Winding Refn.
You mean the guy? But anyway,
what a genius.
What I've determined over the weekend
is
that
let's hear it.
Nicholas Winding Refn is my favorite director of all time. Okay? Not only is he my favorite director working today, he is my favorite director of all time. And I'm going to tell you why. What this man can do with light, what this man does to light a film, especially in Only God Forgives and The Neon Demon, the way this man films is absolutely phenomenal. The lighting is just beautiful in Only God Forgives. It makes me want to go off into a fluorescent light bulb journey where I swim into the ocean and meet my mother and look at my hands. And then you have Drive.
Your bloody hands.
My bloody hands. And then you have Drive. Doesn't use the same technique of cinematography, but yet still has some of the best cinematography I've ever seen. Ever. I do believe Drive won the 2011 won Best Director at 2011 at the Cannes Movie Festival in France, I believe.
Deservedly so.
Deservedly so, because what Nicholas Winding Refn does with that movie is some of the greatest camera work I've ever seen in my life. You're in the car. You are driving with this man. You don't know his name. You don't know anything about him, only except that he just committed a crime. And this movie what he does with the cinematography is phenomenal. Lighting, anything else, what have you. He is one of the best people that you can have behind a camera in the entire world. And that's just the cinematography. I can go for longer. Second of all, what this man can do with a story is original. Nowadays, we have a lot of garbage, generic pieces of crap with endless amounts of movie cliches going into the theaters that people pay to see even though they're trash movies. Nicholas Winding Refn makes an original movie because he cares about us. He wants to make movies that we want to see that haven't been done before. We want to see movies that we haven't seen before, right? We want to see new concepts and stuff that hasn't been rehashed a million times in other movies. We want to see
Independence Day Resurgence.
Independence Day Resurgence is a prime example of a generic movie. Same with the new Blair Witch movie coming around. It's just the same old found footage movie. But what Nicholas Winding Refn does with his movies, even the ones that aren't necessarily original, like Drive is based off of a book. But even what he does with that movie, he makes it an original film.
He makes it original with his craftsmanship.
Yes, he is honestly, originality means everything to me. Originality, I don't like seeing movie cliches. Movie cliches make me mad every time I see them because it's like, I've already seen this. Give me something new that'll actually entertain me. And that's what Nicholas Winding Refn's films do for me. They entertain me with new concepts that I haven't seen before, put me on the edge of my seat because I don't know what's going to happen, and it's not predictable whatsoever. And honestly, I would recommend, even if some of his movies don't get the best of reviews or whatever, I would rather anybody watch one of those movies instead of any generic movie that's coming out today. And that is, alright, that's just on his originality. I could even go on about how he directs his characters.
The lighting.
Nicholas Winding...
The lighting. And you should make just a full-on video just describing why.
Yeah. But I just want to get to this really quick. Nicholas Winding Refn has flat out said in interviews before that he... I'm not talking about what you think I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
But he has flat out said that he lets his actors develop his characters. He let Ryan Gosling pretty much develop his character in Only God Forgives. And why is this great? Because it gives his actors freedom to act. You know, when you're a director and you're just telling everybody what to do, sometimes it can seem unnatural. But when he gives his actors the freedom to do what they want, it feels more natural and it feels more, not grounded, but it feels more real.
It's like fresh.
It's
like
fresh. Yeah, it's not just like a robot who's doing, whatever the director tells them. Exactly. So that's my little tidbit on why Nicholas Winding.
Teaser.
That's a teaser. I could make a 30-minute video on this. I need to take a break. My neck is breaking.
I second everything you say. I'd rather watch. Look, Only God Forgives does not have good reviews, but I'd rather watch that movie than some generic film that has a little bit better reviews. And I think you'd agree with that. Nicholas Winding Refn, without a doubt, one of the best directors to ever live. Everything he does, just so original, and the way he makes movies. He doesn't even make movies. He makes like these just masterpieces, and they're pieces of art, honestly.
They are. And I haven't even seen some of his earlier movies, like the Pusher series. What was the one? I forget. I haven't even seen Valhalla Rising, but just from seeing, movies like Drive and Only God Forgives, I can tell that this man has a gift, and this man can make some of my favorite movies on the planet. Yeah. Well,
one more word, and then we'll move on. But also, say what you will about the movies he makes, but they stick with you. Every time I wash my hands, I think of Only God Forgives. So there you go.
I feel like I'm swimming in a sea of fluorescent blue light bulbs. And there's just some blood washing over my hands.
So we talked about that. Now let's talk about some smaller movies this year. This year's been
such as Kubo and the Two Strings and Hell or High Water.
Now this year's been pretty mediocre for films. We've had a lot of hits, but a lot of misses and disappointments. And Kubo is my favorite animated film of this year. It's probably one of my favorite animated movies of all time. And it's been a pretty good year, honestly, for animated films. We had Finding Dory, Zootopia, and even Secret Life of Pets wasn't great, but it was good. But Kubo knocks all those out of the park for me. So original. The animation, oh my gosh, stop motion animation is, it's just so much work is put into it, and it's so impressive. They really care about what they're doing.
Yeah.
The voice cast is great. Charlize Theron and Matthew McConaughey. They're fantastic.
All right.
It's such an adventure film. It's not just like the super kids-friendly movie that adults can enjoy. Adults will enjoy this film. The action is so great. The music's great. The story's great. It feels authentic, and I loved Kubo. Please see this movie. Kids will love it, and adults will love it. I think everyone will love this movie. It's so well done. Let's talk about another small film that came out this year.
Hell or High Water. One of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. Today at school, I had some free time, so I started making a list of my top 15 favorite movies of all time. Hell or High Water was number 13 on this list.
Yeah.
Definitely my runner-up for the year so far, behind Swiss Army Man. But honestly, this film it's so great. It modernizes a Western, which is already, just that concept alone intrigues me.
Yeah, it's a absolute masterpiece. The cast is great. Jeff Bridges is probably his best performance ever. My favorite performance is, Come on, the dude. It's just your opinion, man.
D dude.
Yeah. But this is probably his best performance, and that's saying something because Jeff Bridges is a very versatile. I don't know if versatile is the word, but he's a great, varied actor. I'll say that, and he's had a lot of work, and this is probably his best.
He transforms himself.
Yeah, he
into,
really does.
It's like Jake Gyllenhaal in Nightcrawler. You don't see Jake Gyllenhaal on the screen. You see Louis Bloom. You don't see Jeff Bridges on the screen. You see that Texas Ranger who I'm blanking on his name right now.
Yeah, we have Chris Pine and Ben Foster, and they play brothers in this film, and their dynamic is so well handled. You care about both characters so much, and even Ben Foster's character, who you don't necessarily like, really at all. He's a jerk, but you're
the point.
Yeah, exactly. You're invested in his character. It's a great character. It's very well done. It's a great character study movie between these, really three characters. And even though the movie's full of mostly, talking and dialogue, you're always on the edge of your seat. It's so thrilling, and then when the action does go down, it is just pure cinematic gold. I loved every second of this movie. It has its funny moments. It has definitely a lot of great action, and one of my favorite scenes, the gas station scene. Chris Pine, that's all I'm going to say. I'll leave it at that, but
yeah, well,
it was
see
awesome.
the movie, please. This movie has not made enough
Support
money.
the movie.
I know that our channel, just saying this on our channel isn't going to make a big of an impact. We have like 50 subs, but anybody out there who has not seen this movie, please see the movie. Any extra money for this movie helps.
If I'm being honest, I'm really thinking about this. I think every movie we've talked about, people need to go check these movies out. Maybe this is just the underappreciated movies podcast, because we talked about Popstar, Kubo, Nicholas Winding Refn, who's actually super underappreciated. No one talks about him.
No.
Not enough.
No, not enough. Not enough.
This is a guy who made Drive. Okay, people need to be talking about this guy on a daily basis. But yeah, and Kubo people need to see it. But Hell or High Water.
Yeah.
If you're a film fan, you need to watch it.
If you're a movie buff, it's a must-see. One of my favorite movies of all time. One of the most well-crafted films of all time.
Oh, and the soundtrack, the score.
The soundtrack is just... I have some of the songs on my phone.
It's great.
They're great to listen to on their own, and they fit the film so well.
Yeah, exactly. And the cinematography is great. It's just all around.
It's all around. It has its very thrilling masterpiece, one of the best movies of all time.
Without a doubt.
And I'm thankful enough to be able to say that I saw this movie in the theaters like the day before it got pulled. After like 2 days in the theaters. I mean, come on. It's why are not people not seeing this movie? But anyway, let's move on to a movie that is not so underappreciated. In fact, it's a little bit overappreciated, and that's Star Trek Beyond.
I don't know if it's overappreciated.
Well, you could put it that way.
But it is a blockbuster.
It is a blockbuster.
It's not like a small movie.
It's totally different than anything we just talked about.
Yeah, for sure.
We saw this movie while we were in New York, and we saw it a while ago. But this movie was just a lot. It was loads of fun.
It was just a perfect summer blockbuster. It had its great action moments. It had funny bits. Carla Urban, who by the way is Dredd, he's great as
I am the law.
He's great as I think Bones. Chris
he has
Pine,
the best frown of all time.
Yeah, bro. Chris Pine. We're talking about Chris Pine again. Chris Pine is so good in this movie as Captain Kirk. Shout out to Anton Yelchin as well, who died earlier this year in a freak accident. But he was great in Green Room, by the way. Another movie that no one saw that you need to see. You're gonna love it. Mixes metal music with violence and a lot of blood.
That's literally
you are gonna love it.
Metal music, blood. That's what I live for.
Yeah, you need to check Green Room. You're gonna love it. But the acting was great in this movie. Idris Elba was a really good villain, I think. At points, he was just kind of a cliche villain, but overall, I really liked the movie. It has its, traditional moments, and there's nothing really special about this movie. I will say the use of the song "Sabotage," though, that was really good. I love that scene.
Absolutely phenomenal. Now, does this even come close to touching the 2009 Star Trek? Absolutely not. That movie's a masterpiece. But I
will say I think it's better than Into Darkness. At least it's a lot more fun.
My name is Khan.
That's
literally how Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm not even exaggerating that a little bit. That's literally how he talks in that movie. But Anyway, let's put it this way. If I ever saw this movie at Target, right? I see it on Blu-ray DVD for say $20, I might pick it up because it's a fun movie to watch and the rewatchability is there.
For sure.
And is it the best movie? Absolutely not, but just fun to watch, and I would
And a great experience.
Yeah,
It's really fun.
yeah, it's too late to see it in theaters, but if you ever get a chance to watch it down the road, if it's on demand or Netflix, I would definitely recommend checking it
That
out.
reminds me, if you want to go through the movies we did talk about and maybe give them a quick score, but so
I can do that right now.
All right,
for the ones that I've seen, because I'm a goon, so I haven't seen Kubo and I haven't seen Popstar. But as far as Hell or High Water, A+. There's nothing wrong with that movie.
Standing ovation.
Yeah,
10 out of 10,
standing
however you
ovation.
want to put it.
However you want to put it. What else did we talk about, man? We talked about Nicholas Winding Refn.
We talked a lot about Nicholas Winding Refn.
Drive A+.
For sure.
I'm just gonna leave it right there.
Let's talk. Okay, so you haven't seen Popstar. Let's see. What would I
Star Trek. I would give Star Trek Beyond maybe
go see it?
I'd say go see it, or go see it in our grading system. A letter grade, I'd say a B+, C-. B+ seems a little bit more fitting.
Yeah, I'd say B+. B+. B or B+ for me.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of on par with. I think it's better than Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I do as well.
Yeah, I'd go around that. Right?
I remember we did review Suicide Squad, our first video.
Yeah.
Up, and
I think we made a mistake.
I think we were a little bit fanboying out. I still really like the movie though.
No, yeah, it's a fun movie to watch.
But yeah, we did.
That villain makes me sick to my stomach, and I don't think we talked about that enough in our original
No.
review. Let's not.
We'll
talk
leave it
about
at that.
villain.
But so yeah, Star Trek Beyond, good movie. And probably check it or watch it down the road, whatever that rating is. Popstar, honestly, I want to give it like 2 different ratings because if you're a fan of this like kind of movie and like this making fun of celebrities, mockumentary kind of style, it is a standing ovation because it's a perfect film for what it's trying to do. So I would honestly leave it at that. Did we talk about? We did talk about Hell or High Water. That's without a doubt.
A+ standing ovation. I literally gave it a standing ovation.
Yeah, literally in the theater.
Literally, I stood up and clapped after it ended.
What's the one we're missing? Kubo.
Kubo.
Oh man.
I haven't seen Kubo because I need to drink some bleach now.
Honestly, Kubo again. I think there's some parts of the movie that like the motivations aren't 100% clear, but they're clear enough to the point where I think you get what the movie's trying to do. So I sound like very repetitive, but honestly, we're talking about probably the best movies of this entire year. So I would probably give it somewhere between a go see it and a standing ovation. Because it's fantastic and it's great. I think that pretty much wraps up everything.
I think that wraps everything up, guys. I think we're at about 23 minutes now on the clock.
It's a good length.
If you yep, great length, not too long, not too short, but if you stayed with us,
Yeah,
thank
if
you
you're
very
still with
much.
us,
And I just wanted to say
props to
this. Really quick, if you're watching this right now and you're coming from John Flickster's channel, I just want to say thank you. I wrote him a letter that really was near and dear to my heart, and having people actually come over to my channel because they watch him as well is very touching, and the size of our channel almost doubled, and it means a lot to me that he would even read my letter. Honestly,
yeah, it all connects because I remember back in like 7th or 8th grade, I showed you a John Flickster video for the first time.
The Whiplash workout.
Yeah.
He was doing some dips in Walmart, and the first thing I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. I subbed to him. A year later, I send him a letter, and he receives it. And
yeah, because that's when I was telling you about Whiplash and all these movies.
Which I own now, by the way, and I can't wait to watch it again.
Yeah, great film, by the way. Amazing. But yeah, thank you for all the support, guys. It's really motivating, and
Yeah, it really. We were about ready to quit. That's not even a joke. We were getting discouraged, and all we needed was
one little push.
that one little push. And I really did mean everything on that letter. He is like, I mean, I'm not even trying to sound corny right now. He does feel like a friend to me. Like, when I watch his videos, it feels like, oh, sup, dude? Like, it's like that, and I really do appreciate him for making those videos, putting all the effort in, and actually reading my letter. And thank you, everybody, for coming over. This is RC Entertainment. Any last words?
Check out all these movies we talked about, because they all need to be watched. That's it. That's all I gotta say.
See ya. Bye.
Peace.
See you next time.
Bro.